What's up, everybody? Bike Builder Bear in the house. I got the canopy up. Joseph is coming over. We're about to add oil coolers to a 190 and to a 125. Sorry, brain fart. I'm still working on coffee. It's kind of early, yeah. Let me show you again. Review what I got going on. I'm setting things up, just getting things cleaned up and ready to, do this because I want to do this process very clean. I'm even going to buy some brand new rags at Harbor Freight, or have Joseph buy them on the way over. But let me grab the camera and let's check it out. So again, got the high performance cam kit with the gear, the springs, and the high performance oil cooler kit. I have to trim a little bit of that dress up kit, do some reading online. I gotta figure out what feeler gauge I'm supposed to use to adjust the rocker arms or the gap for the cam, and find top dead center. And then I also need to clean up a couple of things on the cover for the oil cooler. I have to make sure that thing is clean and pristine. It doesn't fit right. They powder coated both sides, and that's not real good. It doesn't give it a good fitment. So I'm waiting for Joseph to show up, and then we'll do some more recording and get this going. So I'm done setting everything up pretty much and opening things up, getting ready. I'm gonna eat some fresh eggs, wait for Joseph to show up. But let me show you what I got going on. I've got the side chest opened up to where I can find top dead center. You need to have everything off. I've heard of guys trying to squirm and squeam and do it without pulling apart the whole head and everything. But from what it looks like, you have to pull this past the rods to be able to get the rockers out, because I'm pretty sure those are the, whatever they call them, slide pins for the rockers. I'm pretty sure that's what those are, and I'm pretty sure they're behind these head bolts. So I'm pretty sure you gotta loosen up the rockers, pull this out, then pull that out, pull the cam out from the other side. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've done cams on large cars, Chevy 350s, Honda Acuras. I've done a couple of cams here and there, so I have the knowledge of how this goes. This is just the first time I've done it on this head. And yeah, when I get done eating my awesome eggs, I'm going to pull off the exhaust, pull off the carburetor. I already turned off my petcock, drained the fuel right there, which is only like a quarter cup of fuel. Just let it go. But so the oil cooler comes with this this funky piece right here. The gasket doesn't fit correctly. You got to cut out the gasket so that the inlet and outlet for the hoses get full flow. As soon as I put it on, you can tell that it cut and restrict the flow of the oil that's supposed to go in and out. Not only that, I took my time and I sanded off the powder coating around this, on this edge, the top and there. I didn't take it completely off. I just took it down, because when I tried to fit it on before and see if it just fit on, it was too snug, and I could tell if I just jammed it on, it would push off some of that powder coating, and that would end up in the motor. I didn't want that. So if you see powder coating on that, my recommendation is take some sandpaper and a scuff pad, tape everything else off that you don't want sanded, and then sand that down real quick. It only takes a couple of minutes. And yeah, this is what part. Let's see, I'll show you. This is that part of the 125 head. When you put an oil cooler on, it replaces this head cover right here. And then I'm pretty sure if you have a dress-up kit, or a stock head with the stock fins like you've seen over there, you're going to have to do something similar to this. From what I can tell, for what I've seen, all of these kits come with this bracket, which isn't drilled out correctly. I had to take a Dremel and hone those out, and I just got it sitting here. So there, you know, it fits. I've already checked. Everything fits around the head bolts without jamming anything together. But I had to trim the fins off this and make sure that there was enough bite, because when you put this on, and if you put this on and you're going to go and put your acorn nuts, you'll only have 2 or 3 threads, and you don't want to screw yourself by ripping those 2 or 3 threads off, because you'll have to replace those head bolts. So when you're in this situation, trim down the aluminum. It's easier to replace aluminum if you fuck this up. And you know, just make sure that your fitment, you know, is cherry before you just go throw this stuff on. And you do these little details, and it makes a difference at the end. You see the quality of work when everything's said and done. So I'm gonna stop yapping, go make me some eggs, and then I'll get back to this video when Joseph gets here. This should be a short video, because we're going to be, you know, mostly wrenching, just like the 190 video, but I don't want to miss anything on this, so let's check it out. Okay, so I put my motor on top dead center, pulled it apart. I've got the new cam in. Suggestion: if you don't have a valve tool, you can take an old cat's paw like this, grind it out, thin it out. It's perfect for getting in there and depressing the valves to put the high performance valve springs. I assume that if you're not mechanically inclined and you haven't had this issue, you probably just put the cam in with the stock valve springs. I don't recommend that, because the valve springs they give you intentionally, because you got a high lift, you also want a quick closure. So those springs have tighter tension. They're better springs. So if you put your cam in and you kept your stock springs, you're not getting all your performance. You're getting your capture. You're not capturing your ignition the way the cam is designed. So just a little tip out there. If you have a valve tool, oh man, thank God, because I thought I was going to be able to muscle those on with how small the springs are, and I even tried using a wrench, getting it in there, and I kind of was able to push it down, but it wasn't working. And I remembered this bad boy sitting in my junk toolbox, and I immediately went, oh yep, I'm going to have to make a valve tool. And here, as you can see, it slides in there nicely, just enough to where you can get the center pin clips around the valve spring head basket, you know, because there's a little metal basket with a hole, and you put the 2 little clips on each side of the valve rod. So I've got that all done. Now I just need to look up how to adjust those valves and slap it all together and slap the oil cooler on. Joseph still hasn't showed up. He left me out to dry. So as you can see, this is a different day. I had gotten everything installed, not running correctly, and got frustrated and had to come back. Got a little chingadera on my nose. But let's get back on track of what I did. I'm gonna have to go over a bunch of things, so let's continue on. So check it out. This is the meat and potatoes, the stuff that I never seen in anybody's video. I got little bits of it, but I'm gonna try to walk through this slowly and simply. You pull off these 2 caps, this one and this one. You use a socket to get in here, and a wrench or a breaker bar, and you look for the top dead center mark on the stator wheel, okay, up here. And you want it to where this dot marks up with the line on the inside of the chest here. You can pull it off like this, but if you pull everything off, you got to remember what side the lobes of the cam are on and put it this way. I did it that way. I know what I'm doing because I've done valves on V8 engines before, and I put the cam, even though it was a little hard, to put it back that way. I suggest you make sure that that dot is out there to the slit line that's at the end of the head here, and then you put the top dead center mark at the notch at the end of the threads in here. If you do that, it'll be simple to get it back together. Now when you put it back together, both of the valves on the cam will be at the back of the lobe. Here, let me see if I could grab that cam. Okay, then you want to pay attention when you open up the chest and everything to what position the lobes are on. If it's on top dead center, there, and with the dot according to the milled mark on the head, then you should be able to see both rocker arms loose right here. Then the top one you want to adjust to 0.003, and the bottom one you want to adjust to 0.006. Every other setting that I tried, that I looked up on forums and everything, didn't work. The only ones that worked even close to as good was 003 and 006. So I installed the oil cooler too the same time I did the cam and this whole dress up kit. After I get about 100 miles on this cam, I'm going to do a full oil change and put some royal purple in here. If you have an oil cooler, my recommendation is when you do the oil change, drain the oil out of the case, then go ahead and take this completely off. Take the cooler completely off, drain it out, blow some air through the lines. Then when you put it back on, put one line on, fill up the other, then fill up your motor, run it just a little bit and check your oil. Make sure you got enough oil to keep the crankcase filled correctly. This thing seems to be working good so far. I apologize for the crappy video, very gappy, doing these, a couple of projects. I had other things in my life, just get in the way, and I just had trouble. Then I didn't have all the right information, so my recommendation is, beyond this video and other videos, get as much information as you can before you attempt to do the cam. The oil cooler, just throw that on. Just be careful, do your due diligence, make sure everything's tight. Thank you, have a great day.